yo, hey yo, hey yo, how you doing, guys? It's me, the 1AJ, representing 1/5 of them boys. So you know what that means. We are here. And why are we here? You can just about see it below. Crown Jewel is on the way, so that means another prediction show. Now, if you're not familiar with the ministry, 5 guys all competing to see who has the mind of a booker in a WWE or an AEW pay-per-view. Pretty simple. You make a prediction, you get it right, you get a point. You don't, you don't. That's as simple as it goes. Right, let's not waste any time, guys. I believe this will be the first match of the night, the crowning of the Crown Jewel champion. Do you know what? Before we do get into it, what are your thoughts on this Crown Jewel situation? Back in the day, there was a show called Bragging Rights, if you're old enough to remember it. Bragging Rights was essentially champ versus champ along the way. And with that, you would then get a winner, but no actual title to it. I think there was a big trophy, a bit like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy. It's nice to have it, but you know, someone does that for 2 seconds and then that's it. And it's the same with Bragging Rights. It didn't really carry over into this, like, you know, year on, year out. 2 points SmackDown, 1 point Raw, 1 point ECW. It was nothing to really like make it a thing. Now we're back and they've made a huge title that no one was excited for. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. So I would like you guys to comment below if you agree with that. And also, let's be real. I know LA Knight has a match, which is going to be all kinds of awesome. But hey, wouldn't it have been nice if we saw LA Knight versus Bron Breakker, IC versus US? Right. Maybe insert the NXT talent if we've got NXT challenging for the tag titles. But I understand the rules of the tag titles. But while we're talking tag titles, would it not have been nice to have seen the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley taking on the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough? Jordan Devlin is a long time away. But you get what I'm saying, guys. If we're going to do it, let's go all in, right? That's the one. Anyway, let's not waste any time because that's already 2 minutes of your time being taken up. And let's go with the crowning of the first male Crown Jewel champion as the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, takes on the Ring General, Gunther. Which way did the guys vote? Let's have a look. The match I wanted to see but didn't want to see now. The match that should be happening but not under these circumstances. I mean, in any other way, it's a dream match, you know? I keep saying this every time I talk about these two. It's Rocky IV all over again, even though one isn't Russian, or German. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Do we send the crowd home? We won't be sending the crowd home happy because that's Bloodline territory. But do we kick off with the crowning of Cody, the champ of champs, or the Ring General being the champ of champs? My heart is saying to say Cody. My gut is saying to go Gunther. My head is torn. I always say go with gut. I think it makes more telling of a story of Gunther standing tall. When they do decide to go for it again, Gunther's like, I beat you before. Cody saying, I won. It's too easy for a face. There's no insurmountable object when they do clash again for gold that someone can take away. I'm going to go with Gunther. I'm going with Gunther on this one. Yeah.
On a normal booking scale, this match would be, I think, very hard to call. Cody Rhodes has now messed with Gunther twice in the Rumble. Cody Rhodes, by wrestling logic, is therefore owed a receipt. Gunther is being presented as an absolutely unstoppable monster. There is a massive story to be told in a wrestling environment and not in a Rumble environment. Cody can't hang with Gunther because that's how they want to present Gunther, right? But it's a house show. You can't send the American Nightmare home on a loss for a belt that isn't consequential. If this was kind of like a Survivor Series vibe from a few years ago where it's like the champion v champion stuff for clout, I'd probably lean more Gunther, but I think for a belt that doesn't matter and that's just to make the oil money happy, I'm being cynical as hell here, forgive me. And Cody Rhodes is going to go home with a win, and it won't affect either Cody or Gunther in the grand scheme of their long-term story, which we are heading to eventually. But yeah, Cody Rhodes to win.
I only got 1 minute. I've got so much to say, but I've only got 1 minute. And I just waited 10 seconds. Yeah, I believe Gunther's going to take this one. Simple fact that it will elevate him. I know in a lot of people's eyes, Gunther's up there, but in the general public eyes, he's not really there. And having Gunther beat Cody, everyone will be like, whoa. And he was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion for quite a while. And smashed it, made that belt relevant. I don't even know who has the title right now, but he made that title relevant for quite some time. And with that, I'm going to stick with Gunther winning. It'd be great because that would set Gunther versus Cody up again later down the line for a title that really matters. So yeah, Gunther to take the win.
I'm not so much of a big fan of this. I personally would have preferred a mid-card women's title match, like an IC or United States Women's Championship. I mean, they did it with the North American Championship in NXT, so I'm sure they could have done it for the mainstream. However, there's got to be a prediction in this match in Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. And it's interesting because both of them have got some things going on right now. But I think Cody has a little bit more drama coming to him more than Gunther. He doesn't really have Sami Zayn on his back anymore, and there isn't any real threatening type of challenger or rivalry in that sense. He's just dispensed of Sami Zayn, who has now got himself in some type of situation with the Bloodline, as he was seen talking to Solo. So that being said, I think Gunther is going to get the win here, which will obviously solidify his status as the best world champion that there ever was, and obviously it gives him something to brag about. So your winner, Gunther.
So I feel in terms of the world champions, WWE is in a real good place right now. You got Gunther, the world heavyweight champion, that's tearing it up, man. One of the best brutal technical wrestlers in the world period. And of course on SmackDown you got Cody Rhodes, who is the top babyface in the industry, who's got a lot of good things coming to him, man. Like he's gonna have feuds with The Rock and Roman Reigns over the next 12 months likely, and will likely feature in next year's WrestleMania's main event and many main events after that, because you know he is the Hulk Hogan, The Rock, the Steve Austin, the John Cena of this era right about now. So considering this, I don't actually think that he needs another accolade like being the first Crown Jewel champion. I think it helps out Gunther more, because no matter what he says, we all know that Gunther and the World Heavyweight Championship is the secondary championship. So, hey, you want to add a bit more lust to it. You want to give Gunther some bragging rights for him to say he's the top champion. Then you let Gunther win. You don't even have to do it straight. It's gonna happen through nefarious means with KO knocking about. I'm pretty sure that Cody will take a L, but it won't be straightforward and it won't be clean. Gunther for the win and your first ever Crown Jewel champion.
So you know what? Right now we're gonna have to call Double V Batista because he walks alone. Yeah, he's the only one who believes the American Nightmare will stand tall. The rest of us believe it's time for the Ring General to stand tall. But either way, you look, there is no wrong answer. We're talking two champs, right? I do believe Gunther needs a few more wins to be leveled up to Cody, though. Not saying he's a crap champ, longest reigning IC champ, but let's see what you're doing on the main event title scale. But either way, best of luck to both ones. And hey, hopefully Gunther wins because I need the points. Talking points, guys, we will post it up on Instagram and probably Twitter and Facebook. A little rundown of the current scores, just so you guys are up to par. There's no point saying I'm last, I'm first, and yeah, you get what I'm going with. Anyway, let's move on now. Let's talk into the tag title division. A fatal four-way that sees Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Metaphor versus Chelsea Green. I'm the only one who could do that now because someone else has left. Best of luck to you, Sam. And Piper Niven. And Damage Control. So one from each show. I like it. But let's see which way the guys voted right now.
You see, with this pay-per-view, it's actually quite hard to predict a lot of these matches. Yeah, I suppose you could argue that it's been relatively well booked then, Orf. What I don't take seriously is the importance of Crown Jewel as a pay-per-view and as a key stepping stone into the storytelling happening in WWE at the moment. So maybe to my detriment, I kind of need to book my predictions almost as if I was booking a house show. And so for that reason, I actually think that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to retain, despite the fact that I've got this little warm feeling in my tum-tum that says that Piper Niven and Chelsea Green are going to take it. And if I was to pick another team, it would be them. But you got to make the Saudis happy. They keep bringing the oil money in, so you've got to put Bianca and Jade over, right? So, yeah. The champions to retain.
Yo, check my surprise when I saw Damage Control and I was like, there's still a thing? It's messed up, isn't it? Anyway, the winner of this match shall be the champions because they've got muscles and it's going to be just Saudi Arabia. They love strong women. Yeah, that's right. You heard what I said. You know what's that, but you know they like to see the bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they look like bodybuilders. They look big, so you ain't gonna be able to see any of it because it's gonna be a full body suit. But nonetheless, I wonder what Jade is gonna wear. I want to see what Jade's gonna wear, like fully covered up. Surprisingly, that's what I'm looking to see. Match. One surprising thing though, I'm gonna hate. No more Chelsea Green or whatever she said.
This one, wow, what a Mexican standoff or fatal four-way in that case. You got Lash Legends and Jakara Jackson. You've got Chelsea Green. Man, I'm gonna miss Samantha. But you got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. You got Damage Control, and you got the reigning champions in Jade and Bianca Belair. If anyone was gonna take it, I would say give it to the Metaphor. Give it to Jakara Jackson and her tag team partner, but I don't know. It's kind of hard, this one, really. Obviously, they're going to get a great showcase in the match. We could get another shocker. I mean, we had it before when the Unholy Girls won, but I don't think we're going to get that again. Or maybe we will. I don't know. Again, any one of these four could win. The women's tag team titles have not been that much of a wow factor. So in terms of who the winner is, I couldn't really care less unless there's a storyline behind it, like Jade and Bianca finally facing each other. However, I think they're going to be booked strong in this one. Obviously, they have a massive fan base, so I'm going to say still your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
I must say, I'm actually quite pleased to see that for several months now, the Women's Tag Team Championship has actually been taken somewhat seriously, with a number of actual good contenders and teams being put together to go after those belts, and them being featured on these premium live events quite regularly. Keep it up, man, and I'm happy to see they're going to be featured once again in a nice little fatal four-way match. Now, as for who walks out as champions, honestly, although I feel some of the other girls do deserve it, I just can't see Jade and Bianca losing. Not yet. Not without like a long, credible, dragged out story as to who they lose it to. Yeah, in fact, if I'm to actually like make a guess, I reckon pretty soon those two will end up feuding with Raquel Gonzalez and Liv Morgan for like those titles. So they gotta like keep the titles on them for that. In that case, Bianca and Jade for the win.
So the last time the tag titles were defended in a multi-women's tag match, The current champs, who were the current champs at that time, ended up dropping the tag titles. So I'm going to go with history not repeating itself, and I believe that Bianca and Jade are going to retain on this occasion. I'm hoping, as much as we've got these 4 different teams, well, 3 different teams after the champs, I'm hoping a new tag team emerges and steps forward. That would be interesting. That would really give me something. I know it's only one person, but I'd like to maybe see Jordan Grace step up. We talk about man meat on man meat. Let's talk about woman meat on woman meat. And no, I'm not being disgusting, but yeah, let's see something else develop there. But for now, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill still your women's tag team champions. So it looks like, despite people having different thoughts, the ministry are unified, and we all believe that it will be a tag team championship retention with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill on top. Right, guys, let's move away from titles for a bit. And let's go into a feud based off of allegiances. Why are you standing with the Bloodline? Why are you standing with Cody? Why are you this? Why are you that? We were a tag team, now we're feuding because you pushed me and I pushed you and I attacked a man and people recorded it on social media, and that's how we know that the fight has gone down. Yes, guys, we are talking the fallout of RKO. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens going 1-on-1 to find out which one's the great one. Okay, let's see which way the guys voted right now.
Randy, my boy, I love the RKO. You're one of my favorite wrestlers from a long time. But Kevin Owens needs the heat. He needs the fire. And you are a friend, so it'd be good to beat you up. It's been a while since Kevin Owens gone heel. I love heel Kevin Owens. Surprising he didn't turn on Sammy, but he's got bigger fish to fry. He's done Cody. Now he can beat the hell out of you. And Randy can take the loss. This might be a brutal match, because just to give some form of some realism, because they're going with that with Kevin Owens. Let it be more real. Let him be more, the prize fighter. Let him win against Randy, and win in really. Oh, anyway, my pick is Kevin Owens. If you're gonna tell.
The one question I have in mind is this Kevin Owens' first match as a heel? Because I think this is the way they wanted to go, and now we're finally here. And as credential and as experienced as Randy Orton is, as much as he is the favourite, in order for anything to make sense here, Kevin Owens has got to get the win. I mean, he's turned heel. He's finally shown those colours again. So you've got to kind of give him some kind of streak. If Randy wins, then what? I mean, obviously you can get the whole attack thing again, but we already got the... we already had this already. We had one off camera with Cody, and now we had one with Randy Orton, and to just do it all over again on a PLE doesn't make any sense. I think you got to kind of give him some justification as to why he turned that way. Plus, it will answer the question in terms of our management protecting him. Is Triple H, doing what he did some years ago when he obviously penciled him in to become the Universal Champion? We all know about things in turning backs. Well, Kevin Owens, everyone's looking at him like he's turned his back on Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. But what about when Triple H turned his back on Randy Orton all those years ago? So many factors could open in this match. But for it to make any sense, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens for the win.
This should be an emotionally fueled one, and to be honest, hey, I've been looking forward to it. Very interested that KO is the one to make the turn. I was always thinking, who's it going to be between those two that turns on Cody and then turns on each other first? And it turns out it was KO. And considering that, the winner of this match is probably going to move on to Cody in some form or fashion. Hell, they're both probably going to, fight Cody within the next few months. But anyway, I think immediately they're going for KO. So KO needs to be kept strong. KO's going to win here. Whether he takes out Orton to do it or just gets the win, we'll see. But KO for the win.
I don't know about you guys, but this is actually the hardest match for me to call. I'm Right? Do we like Randy can take an L on any given day? Kevin's used to taking L's on any given day. No disrespect to the guy's a freaking talent. Kevin Owens has just made the heel turn, so then it'll go. I'm going to quote Double V on this one. If he doesn't win, what was the point? Which I'm not mocking. I'm agreeing with. We've got the two biggest backstabbers going against each other, which is amazing. Yeah, what I do see happening is Kevin Owens winning. I believe we're going to have a spiteful Randy Orton. I'm giving too many predictions in this show. But I see Kevin Owens winning, Randy still being violated, but he's actually going to turn on Cody as well one day. And they're going to stay as a tag team. But yeah, for now, Kevin Owens for the win.
Okay, house show booking or not, this one, although Randy Orton is the bigger crowd pleaser, I think, you can't. Even if this is just a glorified house show, you can't have this feud with Randy going over. It just doesn't make sense. It's going to be scrappy. It's not going to be clean. I would imagine something like a powerbomb on the apron onto Orton's injured lower back to seal the deal or something of that nature. But yeah, Owens has to win this. Has to win this. For the sake of the feud continuing, for the sake of setting him and Cody up again, the whole betrayed angle they're playing with him, this has to be Kevin Owens.
So the unification, that's what I was going to say, the unification of the ministry continues as we all believe that, as Den said, and I think it would be nice to see that back, the prize fighter versus the legend killer, or former legend killer, because he's pretty much a legend himself at this point. But yes, the two clashes, everyone sees that Kevin Owens will be the one to stand tall. Does it mean he goes back to Cody? I don't know. That's another discussion for another time. But we see Kevin Owens standing tall. I honestly believe RKO will reform, but that's me. I think both guys do excellent as heels. And hey, Motor City, you might have someone else to look out for. Right, anyway, let's keep it on. We are talking the US champion, LA Knight, versus El Idolo Andrade versus HIM. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about him, Carmelo Hayes, for the US title. Which way did the guys vote? Well, let's have a look. That's the only way you're going to find out, right?
Now, all of the matches on the card, this is the most difficult one for me because any one of these three could walk away with that United States Championship. Carmelo could win his first main roster singles title since joining SmackDown. Andrade could finally get back the United States title before he went on to other fields. But since he's come back, obviously this would be his first championship since coming back also. Oh, well, if you want to discount the Speed Championship. But at the same time, with the rivalry that Andrade's been having with Carmelo, this could be the distraction that gives LA Knight, the win. Carmelo could win, and then they take that into that rubber match he has with Andrade, and vice versa. Andrade could win, and then obviously that rivalry now becomes a rivalry over a title. Or maybe the distraction's that bad that, they've got to have another match because they're going to say that each other cost them their chance of becoming champion. And I think that's the way it's going to probably go. Because we need to kind of see what else LA Knight can do with that title now that they've given him the push. Do they just take it away? Or, do we see how far he can take it? Because of these titles, these new titles that have been introduced to the Crown Jewel, I don't think there's going to be much of a title change on this one. So still, your United States champion, LA Knight. Yeah.
One of the things that I've enjoyed from SmackDown over the past few months is the feud between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I think they provided us with some excellent matches. I've enjoyed their unofficial Best of 7 series, even if it did get ruined in Match 7 by none other than LA Knight. Yeah. Adding him to the mix can only really make the match more entertaining in my eyes. And I feel this match actually has the potential to steal the show with such excellent talents involved. But at the end of the day, I think LA Knight is probably going to need to keep his title, considering after he loses it, he's probably bound for a world title position, a main event position. But that's not for some time with everything that's going on with that title. And there's a number of months and a number of contenders already aligned for that title. Therefore, LA Knight suits where he is as the secondary champion, because you don't get that reaction often for someone holding that title. So yeah, LA Knight for the win.
See, this match works. This match works because we've all seen the elevation of Andrade and Carmelo, like where we thought they will not be utilized. These guys have just been creating magic after magic after magic after. Yeah, you get it. It went up to 6 and then 7. LA Knight inserted himself. Yeah, but what if we had held that back? What if we had seen those two go for the best of 7 here at Crown Jewel, and we had LA Knight versus Bron Breakker? You know, if we're doing brand versus brand, that would have been the way to go about it. But hey, I'm here to predict, not to book, and I'm losing, so what do I know about wrestling? But yeah, take that aside. I think LA Knight's going to retain this one. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right that one of these guys gets the upper hand in this way. That story's not over between those two just yet. But yeah, LA Knight to retain, and then we'll see when the next person steps up to be champion, or one of those two step up to be champ. But for now, LA Knight. Yeah.
US titled, and I've been saying for a while that LA Knight is not a conventional babyface. He's got a line, that's over as hell. But the way he's been behaving is not very babyface-ish. Case in point, the interruption of the best of 7 match, that's straight up heel stuff, that. I don't think Knight retains here. I am going to take a shot here, which is going to be kind of what happens for most of this pay-per-view, because I'm not really sure about any of the results here, to be honest. Carmelo Hayes is going to take gold. I think Hayes is going to be taking gold, and Knight's had a decent run, hasn't set the world alight, and I think people have honestly been far more interested in the Andrade Carmelo Hayes stuff for the last few weeks and months. So yeah, put the belt on Hayes.
LA Knight. Did you say yay? I bet you didn't. It's nuts, because at one point you couldn't say LA Knight without someone saying, you did that time. But yeah, it's crazy that LA Knight's fallen off so far. Well, as far as I know, I haven't been watching the product as much, but you don't really hear much about him. It's like everyone wanting him to win. He won a title and it was like, yeah, that's enough now, you stay there. And Andrade is Andrade. Always challenging. So I'm not going to give it to you. Carmelo Hayes, on the other hand, I've been hearing this guy's name. Never seen a match from Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes? Hope I'm saying it right. I'm going to pick you anyway, just because I heard your name in social media. That's my reason. Sticking with that.
So, 2 men have veered off. Double V is no longer alone. And yes, guys, this is it. It's they believe that Carmelo Hayes is him. He is him, the next US champion. Where the rest of us are saying, yeah, sorry, Den, but literally everybody apart from you said, yeah. So yeah, there we go. Another yeah. Yeah, another one. I'm going to stop. Yeah, we believe that LA Knight will still be the current US champion down at the Crown Jewel. Do you know what? Let's get it. Let's put now that Otis is no longer with American Made Chad Gable. Let's do it. Let's have ooh yeah as a tag team. You know you want to see it. But enough of the stupidity. Let's go into a match that is built off of hatred and backstage attacks, even though management are saying leave each other alone. Yes, guys, Seth freaking Rollins, the conqueror, the slayer, the man that he is, versus Bronson Reed, the beast of this generation. Who will come out on top? Let's see how the guys vote.
You know, I would like to think that this is the coming out party for Bronson Reed, and this is where we just think, oh wow, this is really where Bronson Reed stepped up and got himself on the map. But I just feel that WWE just aren't gonna fully push the envelope like they should, because realistically he should beat Seth here, but I don't think he's going to. I think this is just another monster for Seth to overcome, while he has something to do in between CM Punk coming after him and title reigns and all that. It's just another chapter in Seth's book, and I feel that's really unfortunate because Bronson kind of deserves it. But anyway, I feel this is just a feel-good moment for that Saudi crowd. Seth Rollins for the win.
The fact that there's no gimmick in this means the war has just begun. The war has just begun between these two, and I'm liking this. The Slayer, we'll call him the Slayer, the Destroyer, the Conqueror. Seth Rollins taking on the new challenger, the new beast. But the new beast is going to come out on top. Bronson Reed is taking this one, guys. I think we're going to see maybe some last man standing or something or the other is where Seth will come out on top. I'm giving away stuff, but again, I think I've said this in every video. I'm losing. So what do I know? But I hope you agree with what I'm saying half the time. But yeah, I see Bronson Reed taking this one and elevating and extending the feud because I see a lot of weaponry coming for these guys. Maybe not Drew McIntyre, CM Punk level of weaponry, but yeah, I don't see this ending just yet. So Bronson Reed for the win.
And in keeping with my notion of booking Crown Jewel like a house show, this next match is also equally tricky because the better angels of my judgment are saying I should pick Bronson Reed because recently he's been on a tear despite losing his recent match against Braun Strowman, the last monster standing, whatever the hell it was. He's been on an absolute tear and he's starting to be presented as a big star. And I definitely think that there's scope for him to continue being presented as such, and getting over on Seth would make the world of good. However, I don't see a big, long Bronson-Seth feud. I see this as a one-and-done thing. Seth needs to get his revenge. Seth is going to be the crowd pleaser in Saudi Arabia. And Seth also needs to now go on a bit of a run for what will ultimately probably be him versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 41. So, although I would prefer Bronson to win, I think Seth is taking this.
Bronson should win so that he can remain a monster right now. But Seth came back, I don't know how long, but recently came back and wants revenge. So, this could be the revenge. Really, you should put Bronson to win so they can build his stock. But it's a Saudi Arabia match, so we're going to go with the fan favorite one, I'm guessing. And I'm just going to say Seth Rollins take the victory here. To have to break down into why I believe that. Y'all know my catchphrase. But yeah, I'm going to stick with that for Seth Rollins to win. That's my pick.
No, I like the build-up of this rivalry. It's been going on for some type of weeks. Bronson's put Seth on the shelf, and obviously he's just come back. And now we have a match on our hands. Now, the thing I'm thinking of is who can afford the loss here more? Because if they're finally beginning to put that push behind Bronson Reed, then in my eyes, he needs to win this match. This rivalry doesn't stop here. It's going to continue. Technically, it's only begun, but the only reason why it's dragged out this long is because of the injury time with Seth Rollins. And obviously, it gave Bronson time to kind of put a couple of stripes on his jacket, if you will. But we need that to continue. Seth can always come back and win the second match, and then we go on to that rubber match. But in order for that to happen, I think you got to keep Bronson strong. And as much as I'm a fan of the whoa, whoa, whoa chant and so forth with Seth freaking Rollins, I think it just makes sense if Bronson Reed gets the win. So theoretically, I'm going to go with Bronson on this one. And obviously, let's see where it goes from there.
Right, so what can I say? Me and Leon believe in an extended feud. Everybody agrees that Bronson Reed should be the one to win and is on a path of destruction and bigger things. But the rest of them seem to believe that Seth frickin' Rollins will do what Seth frickin' Rollins does next. Okay, guys, now we've talked the men. Now let's talk the women. Who will be the first female Crown Jewel holder, Crown Jewel Women's Champion, as the Judgment Days, Liv Morgan takes on the Queen Nia Jax in a one-on-one battle between the World Women's Champion and the WWE Women's Champion. How did we vote? Let's have a look. I have no idea if anyone else is going to say this, but hear me out. I think this is where Tiffany Stratton cashes in. I think this is where she cashes in because she could be Raw World Women's Champion or she could be SmackDown's WWE Women's Champion. If she cashes in here, does this make her the champion? Now that would be Tiffy time, wouldn't it? And I think a bit of a thing for the other situation. Her holding that makes her the ultimate champion over the other two. Possibly a Nia face turn. Again, it's two heels, but maybe it makes her the ultimate face. I don't know. I'm calling no contest for these two. Tiffany Stratton's going to win here. I don't know how the dynamics work out. I don't even know if this gives me a point, but I'm going to go with it. Tiffany Stratton wins. If Nia wins, I lose. If Liv wins, I lose. But I can deal with that because guess what? I lose anyway. But yeah, I'm not being bitter and better. Tiffany Stratton for the win. The champ of champs. Tiffy time.
Again, another really freaking hard one to call, even with my booking, like a house show attitude. The shibhousery that could happen here is on another level. Rhea Ripley could get involved. Likely. Tiffany Stratton could get involved. Not yet. Dominic Mysterio could get involved. Likely. Like, I don't know. Oh, man. Which one of these two very, very over heels is going to win a very, very unimportant made-up belt? It is a coin toss. Oh, God. Is Tiffany going to screw Nia yet? Not yet. Not yet. If anything, Tiffany's going to probably still help Nia. Nia Jax is going to win. Yeah, I've said it. Nia Jax is going to win. Go with that.
Oh my God. These two are on the poster. Liv and Nia, you're on the poster. Why wasn't Bailey on the posters, man? The disrespect to my girl. But don't matter. She's not on this one. I'm talking about previous when she was champion. This match, I would say, give it to Liv because Liv is losing quite a bit. No, they won already against. You know what? Nia Jax gonna win. It's Saudi Arabia. Remember they used to say Canada was the magic country where anything could happen. It's Saudi Arabia. Anything can happen if you pay the right amount of money. You never know what's gonna happen there. So I'm gonna go with Nia. Simple fact that Nia is bigger, so means should be stronger, should be easier to beat Cody, Liv, unless Dirty Dom gets involved, but I'm going to stick with Nia to take the victory here.
Now, the women's division is going to be fairly interesting as well. You've got Nia Jax and Liv Morgan. Now, as much drama as Nia has in her situation right now with Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany, and other threatening situations there, Liv has really got herself into some drama right now, especially with what took place on NXT. So I would say that because of that, she's definitely going to get some type of comeback because you don't do that to Rhea Ripley and get away with it. And the fact that, she followed Rhea all the way to NXT to drop that beating down when she only went to give the female locker room some advice, and she ends up getting her backside handed to her. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some kind of comeback, which will probably cause her to lose the match. So the winner of the Women's Crown Jewel Championship will be Nia Jax.
See, this one was actually a lot more harder for me to pick who I think's gonna win because again, like Liv and Nia are both, the top respective female heels on their brand. And they also got entourages behind them. They also got like storylines behind them. Now, unfortunately, during this time, we've heard that Rhea Ripley is now injured, so she won't be really a factor. Not unless that is just fake news and they're doing it to surprise us with a crown jewel like appearance from Rhea Ripley. I don't think that's the case, man. I feel like she is legitimately hurt, and in that case, get better Rhea. In terms of SmackDown, though, of course, you got Tiffany Stratton and the whole Nia Jax storyline. Won't she with the Money in the Bank? Hell, she might even try and make a cash-in attempts on Liv Morgan. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces, a lot of nefarious means going on, and a lot of interference. But at the end of the day, I think Beast Mode Nia Jax is just going to plow through them all to become the first women's Crown Jewel champion.
Okay. So guess what, guys? Yes, this time I am the Batista because I walk alone. I'm grateful that this only happened in in 2 matches because I weren't going to do it for every match. But yes, everybody seems to believe that Nia Jax will win. Now, fun fact, if you do turn the clock back to earlier this year, Nia Jax won the Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Not that it means only in Saudi Arabia is she allowed to win, but this could now make it Liv's turn to win something quite prestigious in Saudi Arabia. However, I still believe it's Tiffy time, so I hope they're all wrong. However, they all believe that Nia Jax will be taking it. There is no love for Liv Morgan, so it seems. So Dirty Dom has no competition from the ministry. Enough of the cheesy jokes. Okay, guys, now it's time for the main event. Blood War. Okay, guys, now it's time for the main event. Bloodline Civil War 2.0. Or Part 2, or whatever you want to call it. Fun fact, everyone says 2.0. We had NXT 2.0. But the first time 2.0 was ever really brought up as a saying in the world of wrestling, WWE, was Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble, when he was talking to Seth Rollins about we could recreate the Shield, we could be the Shield 2.0. Now everyone's throwing 2.0 around like it's nothing, but that doesn't matter. That wasn't a link to Bloodline, but hey, let's continue the segue because we are talking main event. Jey Uso teaming back up with his brother Jimmy Uso, and they have lined up with the OTC, the one true champ, the one tribal chief, original tribal chief. It matters not what it is. He is who he is, Roman Reigns, as they take on the Bloodline, the current Bloodline, because those guys don't have a name right now. We're talking Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu, as they go in to war, family against family, as they go for it. Who will stand up on top? How did the guys vote? Let's not waste any time, AJ. Just press the button, press the video. Let's see how they went down.
More Bloodline BS, this never-ending bloody thing. Listen, the fact that people are still enjoying this, good for them. I've been over it since WrestleMania 39. Like, this is going on too long for me. And it's going to continue, because Bloodline 2.0 is going to win. There is not much sense. The thing is that either side could win this, obviously either side could win, but story-wise, either side could win this in the sense that it needs to set up the feud at Survivor Series. And the weird thing is that both outcomes could lead to the feud at Survivor Series. The more logical outcome would be that Bloodline 2.0 win here, and then, based on the fact that the OG Bloodline is still outnumbered 4-3, so you feel like Tangaloa is going to get involved somehow. There'll be shenanigans, and the Bloodline will need either Cody or Sammy to step in, although the way it's looking now, it's probably going to be Sammy. And yeah, there'll be a reunion of the OG Bloodline, and they'll most likely win at Survivor Series War Games, and then there'll be the individual feuds happening. So Bloodline 2.0 to win. Sorry this took so long.
The old Bloodline should take it. But you don't know. Because the new Bloodline or Bloodline, just call the Young Bloods. I don't know why they don't call it Young Bloods. Anyway, the Young Bloodline. This is a coin toss. Let me just I'm going with Roman Reigns and the Usos to take the victory. Even though it would make more sense if Solo's team wins and then they have to have... You know what? Sticking with it. Roman Reigns to win. Roman Reigns and his team to win because they were bringing the main man, The Rock. For why does his team keep losing even if it's not his team? I don't know. Sticking with the original Bloodline to win. And fingers crossed that happens and I get a straight non-stop victory. Thank you.
So just then it seems as if we're going to have a original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline in the Usos, and the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus the self-proclaimed Tribal Chief in Solo Sikoa and the Tongans. Tamalunga and Tongatoa. So another interesting little situation here. Now, just because the original Bloodline have got together, I think this is going to be the one where you give the crowd, that feel-good moment. It's the first assembly of the original Bloodline since the division, since the breakup, since the split. So the fact that, after all these weeks, they have finally come together, I think they've got to take the win here. Otherwise, what happens at Survivor Series, having said that, the new Bloodline could always win, and then obviously now they need to take it to War Games. It could go either way. But you know what, without complicating things too much, I'm going to say Roman Reigns and the Usos are going to take this one to give the crowd that feel-good moment.
Kind of surprised this match is happening now and so soon. I thought that they was going to save it to Survivor Series. But hell, maybe we are getting that match at Survivor Series because right now there's only 3 members of the OG Bloodline as opposed to the 4 members of the new Bloodline. Who's going to fill that extra spot? Likely Sami Zayn at some point. Yeah, I know it seems like he's going to the dark side, but the whole point is to have the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. And I tell you what, without Sami Zayn, the OG Bloodline would have been a lot less interesting. So somehow that's coming. Whether that comes at Saudi, I don't know. But it's interesting though. Who wins? It's got to be like the OG Bloodline because or it's likely that this match will be a non-contest. Yeah, with somebody getting involved to ruin it because after all, there's going to be a 4th man on the outside on the new Bloodline side. So they're going to obviously ruin the match. So, hey, you know what? You could get that big shocker and the Rock comes out and ruins the match. Yeah, a lot could happen, but I reckon Roman and the gang, they do get the win, but it won't be as straightforward or clean. But yeah, OG Bloodline for the win.
Bit of a tough one because I felt like I had the answer the last time and I thought that this would be the victory for the OG Bloodline, but Cody and Roman would have had a bit of a clash. I'm still going to stick with it because I think War Games will be OG Bloodline's victory. So let's go for the new Bloodline, the beta line, whatever you want to call it. Solo, Tama, and whoever's allowed in the country as the 3rd person. Or maybe it's 4-on-3. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going for, look, at this point, I lose. I win, I lose. So who cares? But yeah, the new Bloodline for the victory. Some interesting predictions, and the guys are split. Me and Nico believing it's the new OG Bloodline, and the rest of the guys thinking, the new Bloodline, and everyone else going for the OG Bloodline. But you know what? Apart from that, there was some interesting stuff that came on there. One of them being interesting. I believe we only got 2 interestings from Leon. 0 wrestling fans that doesn't watch wrestling from Dender Tech. 1 nefarious means from Big Tone, no out the zone, but then that's excusable. He's not on the actual recording. There was a lot of, this is a Saudi house show from Nico, and there was a lot of, I'm the loser, so I don't care from me, the 1AJ. A few other things that stuck out. Then with the U Blood, Young Blood. Guys, look, bro, they're still the Bloodline. They're not Young Bloods. They're not the Teen Titans or the Young Avengers. Some of them are just as old as the bloody Usos and Roman. So yeah, it doesn't work. we're talking about interferences and having The Rock come out. How about The Rock does come out, but he sends down Hikuleo? How about Hikuleo joins his brothers? And then we have Zilla Fatu on the other end. And then, you know what? Everyone says Sammy. Now, Sammy would be cool because, yes, he was. But, you know, as Jay told him, but you're not family, Oos. So let's bring in family. Let's bring back Manu. Who remembers Manu? Manu dropped The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. Let him get some redemption. Do it for your family, Manu. We would love to see you, Manu. And yeah, more family than Vin Diesel in this match, wouldn't it? And guys, while we're talking family, do you think this whole civil war has kicked off because Solo is the only one of Rikishi's sons to not be called Uso? He's Solo Sikoa. But what would happen if he was Solo Uso? Sounds a bit of a weird one, doesn't it? How can you be Solo but an Uso? But yeah, Solo Uso. Would we all be together now? Would it be like family for Vin Diesel? Not that Dwayne would appreciate that. If you know, you know. But that's the one, guys. But let's deviate away from that and let's just keep it this way. Because look, you like wrestling. We like wrestling, so let's talk wrestling. And how can we talk wrestling? By you commenting below, subscribing, pressing the like button and ringing the notification bell so you know when the ministry are dropping a prediction show, a review of a UK indie show, or an interview, both UK and abroad, because that's what we do. And hopefully we'll be bringing back some more reviews in the near future. It's all to do with time. But also, guys, you can get into the conversation on Facebook and Instagram at Ministry of Wrestling. Hell, even TikTok, we're trying to get back into that. And guess where we're trying to make more of a presence? X. Roast is still a bit rusty from the main event. But yeah, on X, head on over to at M.O.W News. And as I said, we'll be posting up the scores so you interact with who's winning and who's losing. But guys, look, we appreciate you. We thank you. And until the next time, this is 1/5 of them boys, the one AJ, signing out. And we will hopefully see you soon. We really want to hear from you. See you.